Welcome to American Legion Baseball action. Game number 2 of a doubleheader. South Burlington at the plate first. Tim Oliver on the mound. Chris Parker is the catcher. Post 31 winning the first game of this doubleheader. And ooh, that's not the start you wanted, is he'll hit the batter and he'll send Tyler Wark, the catcher, to first base. Dylan Freeman due up, and then Marcus McLean. So Freeman will be up. He's going to be the shortstop. I started to say it was a mercy rule game in game number 1. 10-0 a win for Post 31. And here's game number 2. Channel 15 Sports, PEGTV, Public Access, Munger Vision, Jerry Munger here, St. Peter's Field. We're good to go. And I just want to kind of catch my breath and let you know that Tim Oliver is from Burlington, and so you might not have been familiar with him, but he's the pitcher now in his second game, and that's going to be just outside for a ball. At first base is Bill Scholdice. Matt Merritt is at second base. Jeff Perry's at shortstop. And Jeff McLaughlin is your third baseman. I'll let this pitch come in from Oliver. That's going to be a foul ball. Your outfield has Gary Pelkey in left field. Rob Dorian's in center field. And Aaron Bloomer is your right fielder. Now, I believe I've caught you up to date on the lineup for the start of the second game here. 7 innings. There is the mercy rule. Wark's on first base, Freeman's at the plate, and we have a 2-ball, 1-strike count. And Tim Oliver listed as a shortstop and a pitcher. And there's a throw to first, and he'll be safe. I'll do the batting order for you when Post 31 comes up, because there's a couple new wrinkles in that. Casey Battles is going to be the DH in that ball game. So again, they're trying to, it's going to be a strike called. Ball got away from the catcher Parker, but not far enough away to do any damage at all. And it's a very slight breeze blowing, nothing too major. It's about 70, 71 degrees out. Beautiful day, no humidity. Great day to play baseball. Oh my goodness, what a curveball that was. So he will get the first out on a strikeout, swinging at the pitch. Now Lucas McLean, the left fielder, up. In PEGTV, you can go down to the House Center, Building 24, and go right in the door, and they'll give you a tour and pat you on the back and everything you think of. So that's one way to contact PEGTV. The other way is to go to the website at www.pegtv.com. It's Fall Ball Strike. And you can, if you're like me, I like using telephones. I'm not a computer guy. You can just call them up at 747-0151. And it's a good time to tell you that Tom Leopold, Channel 15's program director, has put together a great thing, Sports Saturday, and he's back safe. I didn't move the camera because I was talking. But he accumulates the sports from each week and puts it on at 4 o'clock Saturdays. It starts at 4 and runs through whenever it runs out, you know, how much sports came in that week. So always tune in Saturday afternoons at 4 for the Channel 15 games of the week. Runners going, Parker's throws coming down. Oh, he just did beat it. Matt Merritt able to go up there and almost got that tag down in time. So South Burlington will move their runner along on a stolen base, second base. That's Wark that went to second. Remember, he was hit by a pitch on the first pitch of the game, and now he's at second with 1 out. Lucas McLean at the plate, and Brandon Fay, who will be the pitcher for South Burlington, is on deck. Well, I tell you what, Mr. Parker wants to come out and have a chat with TJ Oliver, and it could be just a matter of location or signs or just something you didn't like, but you always got to keep your catcher happy. That's rule number 1. Yep. Okay, so it was a very brief visit. Mr. Parker didn't have a lot of words right there. I like that. Came back with the fastball, and that's just fisted foul, and we have a 2-2 count now. Again, this is the second half of a doubleheader. Game 1 was won by Rutland 10-0. Winning pitcher was Mike Sorelli. And it'll run to a full count now. Again, we're tape delayed and all, but this is a big weekend of baseball for Post 31 with 2 games today against South Burlington and then 2 games Sunday against Essex as long as the weather holds out for them. And boy, that's a great location. Fastball outside corner, got him to fish for it, and back-to-back strikeouts for T.J. Oliver, and 2 down now. But that runner's still down at second, and Brandon Fay up. I tell you, those bats for Post 31 in that first ball game, they had double digits in hits. They were A lot of extra bases, a lot of doubles, bunch of singles, and they were really on the pitchers. And so Faye trying to pick up that RBI sitting out there at second base. And just real quick again, Scholdice, Merritt, Perry, McLaughlin, that's the infield. Parker and Oliver are the battery. Pelkey, Dorian, and Bloomer is the outfield. And that is around the defense here for post 31. And of course I'll continue to do that as the game progresses along, as I will when South Burlington, the Knights, come on out and take the field. And that looks like it's going to be a chance to make the play. Did he come up with it? Oh, what tremendous hustle. That's just typical Parker right there. So that just out of the reach of Chris Parker will be a foul ball strike, and we'll have a 1-1 count. Again, due up in the bottom half of the first for Rutland. You'll look at Rob Dorian, Jeff Perry, Gary Pelkey, and Chris Parker will bat in the cleanup spot. That runner at second base got there. He was hit by the first pitch of the ball game, a curveball that didn't curve, and then 2 strikeouts back to back by Oliver, and he will. This is definitely going to be playable. McLaughlin will call for it, make the catch, and that's the inning. We'll go to the bottom half of the first, scoreless. We're in the bottom of the first, and first pitch going to be hit hard up the middle, picked up by the shortstop. He'll flip to first, and they'll get the first down on 1 pitch. That happened real quick. I didn't get a chance to tell you, it's Rob Dorian. He was out there. In the first game, he had a 3-for-4 day in that first game, and now he grounds out to start things off here. Jeff Perry up. He got into that 5th inning in the first ball game. He'll get to start here in the second game, and he's going to be the shortstop, of course. And he'll bat from the right side, and Brandon Fay on the mound, number 14, as South Burlington went through just a couple pitchers in that first ball game. Of course, they finished up that first ball game, and I'm just trying to really quickly glance down through my. Nigel started the ball game for him. He went 4 innings, really struggled, gave up a ton of hits, actually double digits, I think 11 hits. Then Clancy Rugg came on and didn't do too bad to close things out, kind of minimize the damage, but they're going to start with Fay here in the second ball game. And that's going to be fouled off into the screen for a strike. Well, a 1-2 count, and on deck will be Gary Pelkey. He's the left fielder, and in the cleanup spot, they've got the catcher, Chris Parker. That top half of the first, South Burlington did get a runner in scoring position at second base, but he got stranded there. A couple strikeouts and then a pop-out, and that was the inning. And Fay with a long look in, too long, actually, and finally Perry will ask for time and step out of the box. And it's Tyler Wark behind the plate, the catcher. He caught the whole first ball game also. But it's not like last Tuesday's game against Bellows Falls where it was in the 90s and humid. This today, not too rugged on a catcher, but even with all equipment on. Pleasant day, very pleasant day with a good breeze, about 74. And Brandon Fay will come to the plate, and they'll be too far inside, and he's going to run it to a full count now to Perry. There is one down, and we're scoreless. This is the second game of a doubleheader. First game went to post 31, and ooh, so each pitcher has hit a batter in almost in identical spots physically. And Gary Pelkey up now, and of course, if you haven't caught Gary Pelkey before, he's from Proctor, Vermont. First year on the post 31 squad. And he did see some action, I think 2 innings of action in that first ball game. So this is a non-league contest, and believe me, neither team wants to, nobody likes losing the game, but you'll get to see a lot more players today shuffling it out and get playing time. So Fay from the stretch, and he's going to get the call at the knee on a fastball. Perry at first base, pretty decent speed. And of course, Coach Sorelli for post 31 likes to use that running game to get his offense going. He does have some big bats, as we saw in that first ball game, but that running game really helps him out on a big breaking ball. Swing and a miss by Pelkey, and we'll have an 0-2 count now. Again, very sparse crowd. We got to change that. We got to get some people over here to Legion Baseball. No admission at the gate. You get to see great baseball games. Sit in the bleachers or all up behind home base. But like I tell you, always Perry will be back safe on that throw down from the catcher. Wark just a little bit behind on the throw. If you catch the game live, always turn it back on 15 and get to watch it from a different angle from the center field view. 1 and 2 the count, 1 down, 1 on in the first inning. Again, Fay taking a lot of time to settle on a sign and then throwing over to first base. Perry's got him very preoccupied over there at first base. A lot of times with a pitcher too, he's just not comfortable, so he'll use that little throw to first, kind of take a break and rethink everything he wants to do here. And that's a great location. He'll get the call too, and that will retire Pelkey looking on the outside corner, and that'll be the first strikeout of the ball game for Fay, and 2 down now. And Chris Parker had a RBI single in the first ball game. He was the second baseman throughout the contest and came in the 5th inning to close things out. It wasn't a save situation, but he came in and did a very effective job pitching. Faced 4 batters. And he'll duck down out of the way of that. And like I said about Chris before, he's playing catcher here, pitched the first game and second base. And basically any spot you put him on the field, he's going to do a good job for you. And that throws a good job of going up and grabbing that by the first baseman. Of course, again, I know you got to worry about the runner, but with 2 outs, you don't want to get kind of over occupied with them. You can take care of the 3rd out right here at the plate if you're the pitcher. And that going to ring up the, yeah, it looks like a hit. I think that's Tim behind the plate. No, that's his partner behind the plate. I have him in a face mask, and he's going to brush the plate off and kind of recompose himself, but that's just a foul ball for a 1-1 count. This inning started off with Rob Dorian grounding out to the shortstop, and then Perry was hit by a pitch. Belkey took strike 3, and that will bring us to where we are right now with Parker with a 1-1 count. A lot of baseball coming up for Post 31. They've expanded the schedule this season to 27 games. That's going to be fouled out of play over on the Otter Creek side here. So as they wrangle back in the ball, again, I just want to repeat to you that PEGTV website is www.pegtv.com, and their phone number is an easy one. It's 747-0151. And if you get really ambitious, you can just head down to the House Center, Building 24, and stop in and see them. But you're watching Munger Vision on Channel 15 Sports. And the pitch. Runner's going. They'll hold up. That's going to be a ball. Throw down to second base, and he's going to be in there ahead of the throw. So Perry will take second base on a steal. He had a good jump. It wasn't a bad throw at all from Wark. He had it right where you want to place the tag, too. So a 2-2 count, 2 down, but a runner. Each team now has put a runner in scoring position in the first inning. Parker trying to cash in on this opportunity for Post 31. And Perry, don't forget, has good speed out there. So a ball hit for a single, and that's going to be to second base. He's going to bobble it, and that will send Perry around third. He's going to come home with the game's first run. And again, that's how important that stolen base is, or being aggressive by running the bases and getting the steal. He wouldn't have been able to score on that error if he wouldn't have stolen second base. Not that there's really an easy play or a routine play, but that was a makeable play right there. So Parker will be down at first, and now TJ Oliver up, the pitcher for Rutland. 1-0 Rutland in the bottom of the first. And again, if you've watched Tony Sorelli coach, either at MSJ or at Post 31, you know he really works in the running game in his offensive scheme of things. Parker with about a 4-step lead off the bag down at first. They are holding him on defensively, of course. And South Burlington in the baby blue uniforms. And that is going to be... Now, I had to wait and see if he touched that in fair territory, because that would have been live, but he must have dove out and it was in foul territory, so it's going to be just a foul ball. They'll send Parker back to first, and Oliver will go back into the box. Aaron Bloomer getting a start in right field today. He's on deck for Rutland Post 31. And like I told you, they're going to use a DH in this game, and that's going to be Casey Battles. And again, Fay has been very deliberate. He'll get to swing the strike, that's the inning, but Post 31 will pick up an unearned run and have a 1-0 lead at the end of 1 inning of play. And the first pitch of the second inning from T.J. Oliver is going to be a ball. And you're looking at Clancy Rugg. Like I said, he pitched 1 inning of the first ball game. He's at third base here to start this ball game, and that's going to be inside for a ball. Oliver with a couple strikeouts in that first inning. Again, from Burlington he is, so you might not be familiar with him as far as having seen him play. And that's a little chin music up inside. He has hit a batter with a big breaking ball. I don't think it would have hurt him too badly. That was a fastball up inside. We have a 3-ball, no strike count. And he will walk on 4 straight pitches. So for the second inning in a row, South Burlington is able to get the leadoff batter on. Now Taylor Stevens up with Chris Blaze on deck. And again, Bill Scholdice is at first base defensively. Matt Merritt will play second base. Jeff Perry's at shortstop, and Jeff McLaughlin at third base. Chris Parker, he's behind the dish. And T.J. Oliver's on the mound. I'll do the outfield for you after this pitch. Actually, they're going to throw over to first. And you see, obviously, it's a left-handed batter up there holding the runner on at first base. That's Scholdice holding the runner on. So with that left-handed hitter, that creates a little bigger gap for him to hit the ball through. And that, if he can get around and pull it on that side of the field. They keep the pitch outside, and that's 5 straight balls now from Tim Oliver. Aaron Bloomer's in right field. Rob Dorian's in center. Gary Pelkey's your left fielder. Post 31 in the field defensively with their dark blue tops, red sleeves, white bottoms, and the soft blue uniform. South Burlington at the plate. And that's going to be ball 2. 6 straight balls now. And I can hear Coach Brewer, the pitching coach over there. He'll be making a trip in a minute. He's getting himself kind of worked up. He doesn't like it when you nibble. He wants you to go right after him like that. Exactly what he wanted. When you get up in the count, then you can start nibbling and playing around, but you got to establish that being ahead in the count first. We're in the top of the second, scheduled for 7. The first game went to the 5-inning mercy rule, and that's going to be strike 2. Yeah, I didn't want to be premature on that, but that sure looked like a good pitch, and he'll come back now with a 2-2 count. Again, Taylor Stevens is the first baseman for South Burlington. Well, he showed some patience holding back on that breaking ball, but Jack De Palma with the play over at the concession stand. Able to handle the high bounce and then fairly decent throw back into the playing field. So, but again, American Legion baseball schedule is in the Herald, and Sam's Good News has it, and you can hear it on the radio, and just give the Legion a call actually, and they can tell you when the next games are. But really, it's a great place to bring the kids to watch a ball game. Just got a piece of it, and actually that was a breaking ball. Didn't really break. It kind of floated up high, and it just becomes a foul ball. 2-2 still to count. What little breeze that's blowing today really won't affect play. And did he get it deep enough to go over the head? I got to pass. Merritt's going to pick it up. Nobody's covering the bag at first. He'll throw, and that's going to go out into left field. No damage done though, as Pelkey was right there, but he just hit the ball in the right place. It was just a little fister, and it sounded soft when he hit it, but it'll put runners at first and second now. The right fielder, Chris Blaze, up. And in that first ball game, there weren't a lot of hits to talk about for South Burlington. Sorelli in that first game was the starting pitcher. It took him about an inning and a half to kind of find his rhythm, and then he was very good the rest of the ball game. And that's the, well, I lost count. That's at least 3 or 4 batters now that he's started off the count with a breaking ball. We're only in the second inning, but he's just kind of trying to find his rhythm right now. And that's going to be through the hole at first, and they're going to send the runner around to score. And the throw coming in, nope, they're going to cut it off. So it's going to be 1-1 on that base hit. Nice job of hitting, too, by Blaze. And he'll get an RBI out of that. We're tied at 1. Sean Evans up, the center fielder. And only 10 players available for South Burlington. This is the North-South All-Star High School baseball game today, and they're missing 5 players. Not that that's an excuse for anything. That's just the roster. The next time these two teams play might look a little different because everybody will have their full contingent of people back. So in the second inning, with nobody down, runners at first and second, 1 run in already. And McLaughlin then tight on the corner at third base, almost on the grass at the corner. And they've also brought Bill Scholdice in on the grass at first base. They'll just fake the throw to second. And again, I've always found, whether playing or coaching or just watching a game, when a pitcher's struggling, that like Oliver right now is, that a lot of times that's just he's just not ready to throw the ball. He's not decided or has any confidence when he wants to throw yet. That's an interesting call. Now, was he over the plate? No, they're going to give him first base. Okay. Chris Parker talking, and yeah, see, he's asked, see the umpire showing him, and Parker thought he kind of leaned out over the plate too and drew that, but that's going to load him up. Bases juiced now. And that's the second batter hit by a pitch by Oliver. Now Joey Nigel up. He was the starting pitcher in the first ball game. He gets to start at second base here in game number 2. 1-1 in the makings of a huge inning here for South Burlington. Nobody down. I liked it. Came back with the fastball to start off the count here. Just get ahead in the count. Then you can kind of mess around with all that junk pitching. Also, with the bases loaded, increases your odds or the ratio of being able to turn a double play. Don't forget there's a force out at any base, but it's not the worst case scenario. And here we go. We're going to have a chat now as they'll bring, that looks like Jeff coming out, Brewer, yeah. So they'll have a meeting on the mound and talk things over. Now, besides talking to the pitcher about what he's doing mechanically wrong, or maybe he doesn't like the pitch selection, they're probably going to go over the assignment on the infields too, as far as if the ball's hit here, here, here. And again, it's been a long inning and a half so far. Each pitcher throwing a lot of pitches to this point. It's 1-1 to score, but again, at this point, you would almost consider just getting the out, conceding another run since it's so early in the ball game, but just to try to get some outs here and make it a shorter inning. So it wasn't a big visit from Coach Brewer, but I'm sure it was very meaningful. If you ever talk to Jeff, he's right to the point usually. That's what I like about him. That's going to be a great catch and a double play. Oh, Matt Merritt with a great play, and then a smart play by Perry to cover the bag, and they will get a double play out of that. Oh, that ball was stung, too. Oh, Merritt with a great reaction. So Nigel couldn't have hit it any harder. And it just, one of those things, right place, right time, great reaction. Top of the order up, Tyler Wark. He was hit by a pitch his first time up. He got stranded at second base, and I'm just catching up on my bookwork now. Just give me a sec. Okay. So the first double play of the afternoon couldn't come at a better time for post 31. First and third, 2 down now. Yeah, Matt Merritt just full extension. And actually, through this afternoon, both games, we've seen Rob Dorian make a tremendous diving catch in center field. Matt Sharon, basically the same play Matt Merritt made, but from the shortstop side in that first game. And then Matt Merritt's play, of course, right there. So, like I said, this post 31 squad this year got a lot of good defensive players on it. As always, with any team, any year, it really comes down to just like this game, this weekend with 4 games. It's all about how many arms can you get on the mound. And you're not looking for guys that go to the mound and strike out 12, 13 people. You're looking for guys that put the ball in place so your defense can make the plays. And that, Tyler Wark now has been up twice, been hit by a pitch twice. That's the third batter hit by TJ Oliver. They've all been with a soft curveball, but that reloads the bases with 2 down. Now Dylan Freeman up. He struck out in the first inning. And fastball just sailed on him out of the strike zone. No place to put him, and not a good time to get down in the count where they'll be sitting on the fastball. Dorian in center field with a very good arm. The ball comes his way on a base hit. And again, A lot of it's just mechanics right now. If you watch, he's a little off balance. He's falling off to the first base side of the mound, and he's not really coming on his follow through, and that's why the pitch is sailing high and away from him like that. And basically, like with any sport, it's all about mechanics. And that'll push it to a 3-0 count, and nobody warming up yet for post 31. 2 down, 1-1 to score. We're in the second on Channel 15. St. Peter's Field. And that will force in a run. That'll give South Burlington the lead at 2-1. Okay, and I'm just checking myself out here. Yep, everybody's in the right places on my scorebook. Okay. So Lucas McLean up. He struck out in the first inning. And he's also the 8th batter to come to the plate here for South Burlington. The Knights in the soft blue uniforms at the plate. And that could be the inning. McLaughlin settling in and made it an adventure of it, but he'll make the catch. And I'll tell you what, for as bad an inning as that was pitching-wise, he only gave up the 2 runs, so it's going to be 2-1 South Burlington with the lead as we head into the second inning, bottom of the second. Before we get started here in the bottom of the second, I'll go through that defensive alignment for South Burlington. Again, I mentioned Brandon Fay is the pitcher, Tyler Warks the catcher, Taylor Stevens is at first base, Joey Nigel is at second, Dylan Freeman's your shortstop, and Clancy Rugg is at third base. Lucas McLean is in left, Sean Evans remains in center, and Chris Blaze is your right fielder. This is Aaron Bloomer, the right fielder for post 31, getting his first at-bat of the afternoon. This is game 2 of a doubleheader, and boy, did he turn on that. He got that, pulled it down the third baseline, and going to hold at first base. Well, he certainly didn't wait to see what Fay had. He liked the first pitch and pulled it. It was a curveball again, it just kind of laid out there. Now Casey Battles up. He's hitting for McLaughlin here in the second game. He's the DH. So Battles will step in from that left side. They're going to hold the runner on at first base as Taylor Stevens there defensively holding on Bloomer. You can see again, it's been a very deliberately pitch-paced ball game by both pitchers. They're not catching and firing. They're taking a lot of time. And that came too far inside. He had the right height. He just got it inside too far for ball 1. Like I said, Essex comes to town tomorrow to take on post 31 in a doubleheader, weather permitting. And basically, if you just look at the schedule, and I wish I'd brought it, I don't have it in front of me. Every weekend, there's games here at St. Peter's Field. Now, to get more details on that, like I said, just catch the Herald or the radio station or just give the Legion a call. But pretty much, you can knock down each weekend and there'll be a ball game here. That's a good pitch. He went real basic, just threw the number 1 and got it over the plate, and that makes it 2 balls, 1 strike. Again, what little bit of a breeze there is, it's blowing out toward left center field from home base. And from the stretch, Brandon Fay will miss. Again, a lot of breaking stuff, and he hasn't got it under control yet. A 3-1 count and a runner at first base. 2-1 to score in the bottom of the second. South Burlington with the lead. The target, you know, he's basically the catcher's just got the ball plate glove right over the center of the plate, and that's right where he threw it, and he just swung through it for a full count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bloomer with about a 4-step lead off the bag at first. Yep, he took strike 3 looking. That'll be the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for Brandon Fay. Second time he's got somebody looking. Now Bill Scholdice up. Scholdice didn't play in the first ball game. He'll get a chance now. And for MSJ this past high school season, he was an extremely good hitter. Probably, if I had to calculate, because I did so many of the MSJ games, he had to probably be around 330, 340 average. And he'll take that first pitch for a strike. Bloomer, again, hasn't given an indication yet that he's going to take off for second base, but before the inning's over, I'll be very surprised if that doesn't at least happen at least once. And that curveball won't get the call. That'll stay inside. And we'll even things up now at 1 ball, 1 strike. Scheduled for 7. There are not that many 9-inning games this year on the schedule, which, to be quite blunt with you, is okay with me. Love baseball, like Legion ball, but nothing wrong with 7-inning games. The Woodstock game on the 29th is a 9-inning game. I'm just looking at tape time and stuff, and that always goes over the 2-hour limit for me, which means I have to put together 2 discs. So from my end, I don't have a problem with 7-inning games. Well, just real quick, Stevens, Nigels, Freeman, and Rugg, that's the infield defensively for South Burlington. Fay and Wark are the battery. Then Blaze, Evans, and McLean, that's the outfield. Whoa. I guess if anything, maybe a little outside. Runs it to a full count now with 1 down. And Schuldice, usually very good with 2 strikes on him, protect the plate. We'll have to worry about it right there, as that will push the runner to second base on the walk, and Schuldice will go down to first. Now Matt Merritt up, who made that very good defensive play that started the double play. He's at the number 9 spot, so he'll come to the plate, and then I'll bring on top of the order. Rob Dorian will be on deck. Of course, the way this game right here is kind of starting to grind itself out, this could be one of those 11-10, 10-8 type ball games. There you go. Brought the fastball around the belt, and Merritt swung through it for strike 1. A lot of these players, when you start saying their names over and over, very familiar to you, because a lot of them played for the Rutland County Royals, Glenn Carter's squad, through the years. Of course, Glenn was the baseball coach at MSJ this past season, replacing Tony Sorelli. And we're going to have a meeting. I can only imagine that there was nobody shaking anybody off a lot there. Maybe it was just the last pitch didn't match up with the signal, the sign. So it was brief. He's back behind the plate. Wark is set, and Fay. See him check the runner over the shoulder, and he's going to have another strikeout. We know the thing that's getting me about the strikeouts, that's his 4th one, is that 3 of them come by watching the pitch. And that drives the coach nuts with 2 strikes. The bat off the shoulder, and with 2 down, 2 on, Rob Dorian up. He grounded out to the shortstop, Freeman. His only time up in game number 2 here. Rob, really not much of a looker. He likes to swing the bat and get the bat on the ball and make things happen. That's going to be high for ball 1 right there. And that first game was a 5-inning game. It was a mercy rule, 10-0. Post 31 with the win, and Mike Sorelli got the win as the pitcher spot. And that's going to be playable, possibly. It looks to be under control, and it will be caught for the 3rd out, and they'll leave 2 runners on the base, and we'll go to the 3rd inning. 2-1, South Burlington with the lead in game number 2 in Legion baseball. Brandon Fay will get things going offensively here, or try to get things going offensively against TJ Oliver. And TJ Oliver's biggest enemy today has just been his lack of control. He's hit 3 batters, and he's been behind in the count a couple times. His defense has made some outstanding plays. I'll make it a 1-1 count on that foul ball. Yeah, and really, South Burlington might look back on that last inning where they only scored the 2 runs with the bases loaded, nobody out, and that could become a pivotal thing, that all they got was the 2. He'll put that one on an arc. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So after Brandon Fay, you're going to have Clancy Rugg and Taylor Stevens. That's a good 2-strike swing right there. It was a pitch that might have gone either way, so he reached out, fouled it off, stayed alive. And that's what you want to do with those 2 strikes on you. Getting Jerry Munger, bringing Legion baseball action all season long. And that looks to be playable. Pelkey looks to be okay with it, and will make the catch for the out. Nice job by Gary Pelkey. So it's the first time that they retired the leadoff batter. Now that will bring up Clancy Rugg. He walked and scored, and his walk actually forced in a run. No, that's what I wrote in a book. It must be right. And there's a strike called on the breaking ball. So T.J. Oliver, number 31, just kind of working himself into the ball game. Now, you know, I've never seen the guy pitch, so he could be one of the guys that needs 1 or 2 innings, kind of get everything flowing and working, and that's a great pitch right there. And he'll quickly be 0-2. Like I said, he had a hit batter in the first inning, then back-to-back strikeouts and a pop-out. And it was the second inning that made him work. Good, again, 2-strike swing right there. Fouled it off, stayed alive with 2 strikes on him. As if you notice by the picture quality, the sun keeps playing peekaboo, will come in and come out. Because I've set the white balance for the cloudy weather, and then when the sun comes out, it kind of bleaches it out. And right now we have good cloud cover. Outfielders like this sky right here to see the ball. And that's going to be Merritt. Runs into his own teammate and going to be out of play. Oh, it's going to be dead ball. It's picked up by a fan on that side, so they'll award him second base. So a good show of range by Merritt to get there. And you know, I'm going to give an unofficial infield hit. And again, no emails. I'm unofficial, okay? Taylor Stevens up. He had a single his first time up. So with 1 out, 1 on, 2-1 South Burlington would lead in the second game. Ooh, had to be high. Got the plate, but he was a tad bit above the belt, and he didn't get the call. And well, 1 ball, no strike count. Well, he made the adjustment and got it low. So 2 balls, no strikes. The on-deck hitter is Chris Blaze. So Taylor Stevens right now in the driver's seat. He's going to step out, yeah. That time had been called, and he was granted time. And everybody reset now. We'll step back in. Stevens, the first baseman. Again, he'll step out. And he now see, that's a balk actually. They did not grant. See, I know the umpires did the absolutely right thing, absolutely the right thing, but I still think that sucks. And it's a smart play by the hitter because he stepped in, stepped out, and no time was granted, and so the pitcher saw that the hitter would stepped out of the box, so he didn't throw the pitch, and that's got to become a balk. And ah, you saw it, same thing. But everybody did the correct thing there. I have no problem with it. Except it did look kind of screwy. Okay, so he's gotten to a 3-0 count now. Because I kind of lost track of myself too, so. Taking all the way, and that's going to be strike 1. 3 balls, 1 strike. Parker behind the plate is the catcher, and I'll do the infield again. It's Schuldice, Merritt, Perry, and McLaughlin. Pulled the string on that one, and we've got a full count now at 3 balls, 2 strikes. With 1 down. Clancy Rugg is at third base. South Burlington with a 2-run second has that 2-1 lead. Again, one thing that's impressed me about South Burlington is with those 2 strikes on them, they're protecting the plate. They're staying alive. That right there was a good pitch actually to hit, but he just fouled it off. Stayed alive with 2 strikes. McLaughlin and very deep on the grass. They gave him the corner on that one. Oh, baby, strike 3, and that's going to be the 3rd strikeout of the ball game for T.J. Oliver, and that's 2 down, and that's a big get right there. Now Chris Blaze up. See Blaze gets set. He'll step in obviously from the right side. You can see what I can see. Get Munger Vision on PEGTV channel 15. Foul ball. for a strike, and I think it actually went off from Blaze himself, and he indicated he was okay. And an 0-1 count, 2-1. Third inning, scheduled for 7. I don't remember if I set the outfield, so I'll do it real quick for you. That'll be a ball. Aaron Bloomer, Rob Dorian, Gary Pelkey. That's the outfield playing right now for Post 31. Second game of a doubleheader, and Post 31 coming off a road loss to Bennington during the week, 4-3 in 8 innings. And that's going to be beat foul. So stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes. The on-deck hitter is the center fielder, Sean Evans. 3 strikeouts in the game and 3 hit batters by T.J. Oliver. So he's he's filling up his stats. Got him. So he'll in that inning strong, strand a runner at third, and we'll stay at 2-1 South Burlington. Did they get him? They got him. That was Perry. I came on late because I was having a V8 juice for my lunch, honestly. Perry came up and numbed off the end of his bat. Jeff did. He was the leadoff hitter. He went to Nigel, who bobbled it, but he flipped over to first, and you saw the result. They got the out. Now Gary Pelkey up. He struck out looking, took third strike looking. His only time up. He's the left fielder. Woo! And then he just ducked underneath that one. It's Brandon Fay on the mound. He's gone the distance so far. We're in the bottom of the third of a 2-1 ball game. South Burlington trailed 1-0 early and then came back for 2 runs in the second. They had the bases loaded, nobody out in the second, and came up with the 2 runs. Pitch on the way. Boy, tied him up inside. Nice fastball. Haven't seen enough of those today. Chris Parker is the on-deck hitter. So as I get everybody back into position here, and we're all set to go, I'll just give you that website again. It's www.pegtv.com. Boy, just kept him off balance with that curveball to make it 2-2 the count. Again, great day to watch a game. Breeze, cool, nice. Came in high. No, he'd set it up for that, but he came in high, and it's going to be a full count now. Neither pitcher setting any records for space between the games. That's going to be a foul ball. Between pitches, I mean. They're really taking their time between their pitches. And a little different pace in that first game of the doubleheader, which is okay. I mean, every game is different within itself. So Brandon Fay will wind it up. That's going to stay in fair play. Fay will flip the first, get the out, and that's the second out of the bottom of the third. Now Chris Parker up. And like I said, Parker started the first game at second base, ended up pitching the 5th inning, and he's getting a start here in the second game behind the plate. And I believe he held up. I don't know if they're going to appeal it or not, but that's going to be ball 1 in the dirt. And real quick, the defense on that infield, Taylor Stevens is at first, Joey Nigel's at second, Dylan Freeman's at short, Clancy Rugg is at third, that pitch called a strike, Tyler Wark is behind the plate, Brandon Fay's on the mound, Lucas McLean is in left field, Sean Evans is in center, and Chris Blaze is in right. And Parker will ask for time and get time, and he's ready to hit now. He's all set. And that was low below the knee. Now it'll be ball. Geez, I think it's ball 2. 2-1. And again, Brandon Fay with 4 strikeouts. Now it'll be ball 3. Yep. He had 2 strikeouts in the first inning, 2 in the second. He's got 2 outs on ground balls here. He's looking for a 1-2-3 inning. He won't have it, though. Parker will draw the walk. He'll head down to first base. He's been on base twice now, Chris has. And T.J. Oliver up. He is facing Fay for the second time in this ball game. He struck out back in the first inning. In post 31, had Jeff Perry score that only run back in the first inning. And you didn't miss anything. He threw over to first base, and I just kept talking and left the camera right here. And I will just tell you, upcoming broadcasts coming up. We have Brattleboro, the Benningtons. The 21st, Chester comes to town. That should be a real good ball game. That's going to be hit to third. Well, what a lot of running steps. Did they get him? They got him, and we'll make sure that, yeah, Oliver's okay as he tumbled over the bag, but that's going to be the inning, and we'll stay at 2-1, South Burlington going into the fourth. So as we get into the fourth inning of play, we're looking at the 8 and 9 hitter, then top of the order, Sean Evans up. He was hit by a pitch, his only time up, and that's going to be right back to the pitcher, and Oliver, nice reaction, will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. And it just sounded soft coming off the bat, and again, Evans was hit by a pitch, got stranded at third and second inning. Now he'll line out to the pitcher. Joey Nigel up. He lined into a double play. That was where Matt Merritt started that tremendous double play where he dove full extension. Oh, you see the hitter lean back on it, and then the ball catch the corner for strike one. Top of the order, Tyler Wark is on deck for South Burlington. They're at the plate in the soft blue uniforms. Post 31 out in the field defensively. And that'll be strike two on a swing and a miss. You know, again, I've seen so much Legion ball over the decades, but, you know, what I think the biggest thing about this post 31 squad, and it's still early in the year to tell, is they're just really good defensively. And, you know, you start looking around, they're strong at shortstop, strong at second base, they're solid at catcher, they've got good outfield, they're strong up the middle with Robbie Dorian in center field. That's going to be over, and Matt Merritt wants me to throw the ball to, and he got him. What a Matt Merritt having an all-star performance today, and a nice job by Oliver, the pitcher, to go over there and tag the bag. But Matt Merritt looks like he's trying to renegotiate a new contract with his effort today. Good job. Now Tyler Wark up, and he has been hit by a pitch both times. He's on the bad side of Tim Oliver. He'd probably just like not to be hit by a pitch. This at bat. That's going to be ball one. So Oliver looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. Now it's going to be fouled back and out of play. That'll make it a 1-1 count now. Again, Jerry Munger bringing you this Legion baseball action through the summer, and hopefully they'll be making playoffs, post 31 will, so we can bring you the Southern Tournament. I don't know what this we is. I'll bring you the Southern Tournament. Yeah, and that's well outside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. You ever see the movie Bull Durham? I love that. Absolutely one of the greatest baseball movies ever made. That was a Bull Durham wild pitch right there. Well, 3 balls, 1 strike. See if he's going to be greenlit here, if he's going to be taking all the way. And yep, taking all the way, and we'll have a full count now. If you don't know my feelings on that taking all the way by now, you haven't watched enough of my broadcast. You knew that was going to be probably the best pitch to hit in the whole sequence. That's going to be fisted. It's going to be a tough play. There's McLaughlin. Off the bag. What a nice scoop by Scholdiso to keep the ball from going out of play. Because the ball could have gone out of play, and he came off the bag, made a nice scoop over there. But that'll be it looked like it was going to be a tough play right from the way the speed of the ball, the way they had to charge it. McLaughlin coming across, made the best play he could. Coach Shirelli's going to talk to the home base umpire. But I do believe that that's going to, well, I know it will. I've never seen an umpire change his mind. They are going to leave that as a safe at first. And it was a good pitch, too. He jammed him with it. So Dylan Freeman up. He has struck out and walked. Yeah, so what you got to do is just go back to work with those 2 outs. Don't let them start a little mini rally with 2 down here. So as we get set for the pitch to come in, they'll go back to the stretch now, and this is going to be T.J. Oliver with the pitch. Low. Almost gummed off at it, but then he held up and it'll be low for a ball. They are holding them on defensively. That's shoulder ice at first base defensively, holding the runner on. There's the throw over and safe. So Oliver caught a little line drive off the bat of Sean Evans to start things off here. Then a ground out. And a nice play by Matt Merritt. There goes the runner and no throw. So that will put the runner in scoring position down at second base. And Dylan Freeman looking for a pitch to get a hold of here. That's a great pitch to a left-handed hitter. Right on the outside corner for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. We're in the 4th. Hoping to go 7. First game was a 5-inning mercy rule game. And that's going to be pulled foul. Nice job of waiting on the breaking ball, but then pulled it foul. And we'll go 2-2 the count now. And TJ Oliver kicks and fires and get a nice 2-strike swing. Stayed alive. Oliver's got 4 strikeouts also in the ball game, as does his counterpart for South Burlington. You can see Parker flashing the sign. I just want to see where he sets up the target. He'll slide to the outside corner of the plate, and he missed the target, but he got the strikeout. Strikeout number 5 will end the inning, and post 31 will stay down just the 1 run at 2-1. That's going to be high for a ball. This is Aaron Bloomer up. Remember, he had that nice sharp single. His only time up. He gets things started. Here it is, post 31. I tell you, and that's going to be the first. Bobbled around, and safe. Bloomer is going to be on what was a hot potato hit down the line. And again, just put the ball in play, make contact, and put pressure on the defense. You see what happens is Bloomer will be on for the 2nd time today. Now Casey battles up. He walked. No, he struck out. I'm sorry, his first time. I've got one of those newfangled scorebooks. I don't like the double entries on them. I like the old-fashioned books. Hard to find those nowadays to buy them. Okay, and I didn't move the camera because I was taking a drink of soda, but he was safe at first. You'll have to trust me. Not in this game. In the first 2 innings, it looked like it was going to be like a 10-8 game, 9-8 game. It settled in now. It's 2-1, and it's basically been mostly the defenses. There's small ball. There's the bunt. He's bobbled it. He's got 1 place to go. He'll go to first. So the sacrifice. Nice job of laying it down. And that's so overlooked. I mean, that's a great play right there. So they'll get the runner over to second base with 1 down now. And Scholdice up. He walked back in the 2nd inning as we're in the 4th. Brandon Fay still on the mound. And Bloomer runs real well. He's down to second base, so it's possible if they can get a single that they might be able to score Bloomer. And he'll get the pitch in there, and there you got him. There's that cut action down and in. He's showing a lot of that stuff. That one just, he brought it more over the plate to start with it, so. And Scholdice will miss on a swinging strike. And you can tell that one. He had to duck down out of the way, and that's going to make it a 1-1 count. Well, you know, now we start getting deeper into the ball game, and it's kind of come to a, you know, push me, pull me type deal here. Extra innings are always out there. But that's good pitching sequence right there. He came back with his 3rd pitch in the sequence, which was a fastball high and away, and just kind of not caught him off guard, but did get it by him. 1-2 the count to Scholdice. There is 1 out. A runner at second base is Bloomer. It's 2-1 South Burlington in the lead. This is game 2 of a doubleheader. Yeah, now see, to me, and it really doesn't matter what I think, honestly. I know that. It's a 2-2 count now. Yeah, the pitcher's still in control of what he can dictate here, but I wouldn't mess around personally unless I had a real good breaking ball day going, which he hasn't been consistent today. And see, he's not sure because he went through a bunch of signs there and didn't find anything that he liked. When in doubt, I always go back to the elevated fastball. So Brandon Fay decided on a pitch, and he is coming to the plate with it. And he did that, and it got out of control, and that's going to send Bloomer down to third base, and he's going to be safe. So Bloomer has worked his way over to third base now with the 1 out. Oh, that's significant, sure, because now a deep enough hit fly ball will score him. Balls hit on the infield, certain position will get him there. A pass ball, wild pitch. So that was big, that wild pitch there. It goes to a full count also. So the tying run sitting at third base in the form of Bloomer. Scholdice, usually a very good 2-strike hitter. Not that time. What did he do, huh? The pitcher. He went to the high fastball and got what he needed. Matt Merritt up now, and boy, what a day in the field Matt Merritt's had with that glove. Now he has a chance to have some input offensively. He's got the tying run at third. Foul for strike. Oh, and I love to play what ifs. I'm looking at the corners. They're playing pretty deep at the corners, and Matt's a fast guy. He can really get down the line. Why not be fun and just like lay the bunt down? But that's why I only run the camera. He'll swing through that one, strike 2. Well, you've noticed in this inning when Brandon Fay's gotten in trouble, he's gone right back to the fastball, and it's kind of gotten him out of trouble. Well, with an 0-2 count, 2 down, runner at third, pitch on the way, and got him. Oh, you could see the big curveball there, fooled him, and they'll strand the tying run at third, and we'll go to them to the 5th, 2-1 South Burlington. TJ Oliver with 5 strikeouts. The only inning he didn't record a strikeout was in the 2nd. And that one hung up on him. Didn't really snap off. Lucas McLean up. Then Brandon Fay and Clancy Rugg. That's the 3 due up here for South Burlington as the Knights. That's their team name. And I'm not sure. No, it's going to be over on River Street out of play. That's just going to be a foul ball strike. 1-1 the count. 2-1 the score. And we're in the 5th. And I never would have believed it was going to be a low-scoring tight game in the way it started. Good job by laying off that pitch, because that was one of those elevating fastballs that batters' eyes usually get huge on and they go chopping at it. But good job of laying off it by McLean. And that one came inside. Now, TJ's already hit 3 batters. So when that ball starts coming inside, you better not be assuming that it's not going to hit you. Oh, nice pitch. Beautiful pitch. Makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And this is the leadoff batter of the 5th. Put into play. Perry can't get it. It's going to be a base hit through the hole at short, just past the glove of Jeff Perry. So they'll get the leadoff batter on a solid hit. Now Brandon Fay up. He's flying out twice, once to third, once to left field. A lot of options now because obviously, well, no, I mean things. You could have a big inning, but 2-1 game, tight game. Would you think bunt, small ball? We'll see what he wants to do here. No, you see that one kind of got up and away from him. I don't see anybody in the bullpen area, which is behind the third base dugout for post 31 throwing yet. 1 ball, no strikes. Runner being held on at first base. Scholdice there defensively to hold him on. Well, I'll tell you what, there was no doubt about that hit. As Pelkey will quickly pick it up and get it in. So back-to-back singles. And South Burlington in business here offensively. 2 on, nobody down. Clancy Rugg up. He had an infield single his last time up, and prior to that he had walked. He's also scored a run. And we're going to have Coach Brewer coming out on the mound to talk to the team. And I would assume, since it's Coach Brewer, that there's not going to be a switch made here. No, so they left TJ Oliver in. He's going to stay out there. And he's going to be facing Clancy Rugg with Taylor Stevens on deck. Well, that defense has been so good all season long. Let's see if they can help out their pitcher here. That's popped up, and everybody calling for it. And Dorian, I mean, the guy just made a break on the ball, did a sprint to it, and he was just off the infield when he made the catch. Well, I should finish my thought, though, and see if the defense can help out TJ Oliver, but also he's got to be able to let them help him out by putting the ball in the play like he did right there. And there's one out, and runner's unable to advance on that. Now Taylor Stevens up. He has singled and struck out looking. He's also scored a run. I'm not really sure the umpire chatting over towards the fence area, but I don't think there's any big deal going on. Nope. So one down now on that fly ball caught by Dorian. Very effective with that breaking ball as he pulled a string on it and they swung through it, and that's going to be, of course, Taylor Stevens with Chris Blaze on deck, and they're looking, South Burlington, is to get a little padding on that lead. It's at 2-1. They had the bases loaded in the second, nobody out, and that's when they got their 2 runs. That could be on the infield. Perry took a few steps in, and well, whatever Coach Brewer said, it's working because he's gotten 2 outs since the visit to the mound. Of course, this is where you can't really let up. 2 down, 2 on. Chris Blaze up. He struck out himself last time. Like I said, there's been 5 strikeouts in the game for TJ Oliver from Burlington. And he's looking to get out of a little bit of a pickle here in the 5th inning. And he might have done it. That's going to be to Merritt. He elects to go to second, and awkward play, and they do call him out. So they'll get the first 2 base runners on, not score, and we'll stay at 2-1 going into the bottom of the 5th. South Burlington with the lead. Top of the order to start things off in the bottom of the 5th. Rob Dorian up. He's flied out twice. Actually, he's flied out once to right field, grounded out to shortstop. Brandon Fay. First pitch will be a strike with the breaking ball. It's still Stevens at first, Nigel's at second, Freeman at short, and Rugg at third. Wark behind the plate. I've already mentioned that. Faye's on the mound. That's going to be a ball, 1-1 to count. The outfield still has McLean in left, Evans in center, and Blaze in right. You can top the order with Dorian, Perry, Pelkey, and in the cleanup spot, Parker. Yeah, a good eye right there. Now put the count in the hitter's favor at 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, pace a little different than the first ball game, but it's going to be caught on the line at third base. Nice job over there by Clancy Rugg, and ball well hit by Dorian, but right at the fielder. I'll bring up Jeff Perry now. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the first inning, then he grounded out to the second baseman, Nigels. And with 1 down, Perry looking to get on base, get things started, and that's going to be outside for ball 1. And he had good discipline to lay off from that pitch. A lot of the right-handers have been fishing for that one today. It's been a very effective pitch for Brandon Fay today. Again, got a lot of Legion ball coming up. Love to have you come down and fill these stands up, but I also like to have you go home and watch it again on Channel 15. Just give him a call, 747-0151, and that's good job by the catcher. You know nobody's on base. He very athletic move back there by Tyler Wark to go get the pitch got away from Brandon Fay, and that makes it 3 balls, no strikes to Jeff Perry, and with Gary Pelkey on deck. Big guy with the windup, and that's going to be ball 4, so he'll walk him. And Fay with 6 strikeouts in the ball game. And Pelkey was a strikeout victim in the first inning. He got caught looking, and then he grounded out to the pitcher, Brandon Fay. Pelkey to left fielder here in this second ball game. There's the thrower to first, and yet the runner back very easily is. I don't even think he had taken a not even a four-step lead yet off the bag. I'm talking about Perry, of course. And that one's, he's back safe again. The ball was dropped, but picked up, no damage done. Actually, there is a change defensively at first base. Dylan McLean has gone over to play first base defensively. And I didn't catch it that time because I'm writing his name in here, okay? So they make a change. Dylan McLean's gone in defensively at first base for South Burlington. And that is going to be just in front of the fence. You can see he had to pull up so because he didn't want to run into the fence and get injured, but it just had enough legs on it to get out of the reach of his glove, so it's just going to be a foul ball strike. 0-1. No balls, one strike. Is the count. Again, I know it's awful early to start thinking about it, but late August starts soccer coverage, and of course, down at Mill River, Kevin Ratty and Randy Chadburn, the men's and women's soccer coaches down there, got some good teams to go watch, and I've been invited down as I go down every year. And don't forget, start thinking about that fall sports schedule. Got they'll miss outside with that pitch, and all of a sudden Brandon Fay having a little trouble being consistent. Runner on first, one down, 2-1 to score. South Burlington with the lead, and Pelkey hitting in that 3 spot. Goes on top and called for by the left fielder and caught by the left fielder. So he wanted it and he got it, and that's going to be the second out. That was Lucas McLean over there, number 13, that made the catch. So a line drive caught at third base, a walk, and then that fly ball to left field. Now bring up Chris Parker. He's been on base twice today, once on an error and then a walk. And of course Parker playing catching position now in his second game of this doubleheader. And I'll tell you, I know you got to keep that runner close, but if I was a catcher, I'd say right here is out number 3, buddy, right at the plate. Let's concentrate on this guy, and I'll worry about the runner down at first. I'll give you the sign when I want you to throw it at first. Good pitch, real good pitch. Nice location on that. This was obviously a strike. So, well, if Chris Parker can get on base, TJ Oliver will be the on-deck hitter. There goes the runner, the ball put into play, and oh, what a great piece of coaching. And there's Perry going to third base and holding him up at third base. Now, I want to tell you what happened there and why it was great coaching. They started the runner to steal second base. The shortstop, that guy right there you're looking at, he started over to cover the bag to take the throw at third base. And that was Dylan Freeman. And then you could see him put the brakes on, and then that ball was hit right where he would have been standing, and that's what opened that whole thing up. Plus, by starting the runner and on a base hit, that's why he's able to get to third base also. So a little, again, that aggressive base running, whether it's the hit and run, the steal, the bunt, small, whatever you're trying to do, man, that's just big. Meeting on the mound, TJ Oliver up 2 down, first and third. Now, what I'm assuming, and this is just conjecture, is talking about if Parker steals, what do you want me to do? Because the standard play is the shortstop moves up, takes the throw to second as a cutoff, so the guy from third base can't release and go home. Personally, I think you've always got to send a runner from first to second on a first and third situation. Oh, you know what? He's in the pickle because they want to try to get tied up long enough so the run could come home. So what they did, that's one other thing I didn't get a chance because it happened so fast to start talking to you about. But they've scored, well, what you do there, you just get in the pickle long enough so the runner can cross home base and run counts. But they don't have to worry about that now because they just kept their eye on the runner at third base, and whoa, nasty pitch there, and he went down swinging for it. TJ Oliver will be down in the count. No balls, 1 strike. Tie run at third, go ahead run at second. 2 down, unfortunately, though. And that could drop in. That could really drop in. And it does drop in. And here comes the second runner coming in. Oh, what hustle by Parker, and they're going to take the lead. It was a good throw from out there in left field by McLean, but it's going to be just the right spot. You can see good base running on the trail runner. Yeah, you see TJ Oliver taking off his brace there, and I don't think they brought a courtesy runner. Nope. Hey, all you got to do is put the bat on the ball, and good things might happen, and it did right there. So he will drive in 2 runs. And now Aaron Bloomer up. He's been making good contact today. And the thing about this, too, is you can't let your guard down. Now you've given up to 2 runs. It's 3-2 Rutland. There's still 2 outs. You've got a guy at second base. You've got to get that third out. And Bloomer, he might have got the job done. Yeah, they're going to bobble it long enough. And oh, they got him. I had to wait and see. So a bang-bang play on a bobbled ball. But 2 runs scored by Post 31, and they'll have the lead 3-2 going into the 6th. New pitcher in there for Post 31, Ricky Dow in there. He's going to be looking at the 8, 9, and the top of the order and hitting here. It's going to be Sean Evans, Joey Nigel, and Tyler Wark. So Ricky Dow, who played left field in the first game, now in on the mound. That pitch, obviously, a ball was high. And he'll come to set, and going to be on a play, yes. Excuse me, I'm just playing with the camera. So it's going to be a 1-1 count now. So Post 31 able to get a couple runs there in that last inning to take the lead. They had the lead at 1-0 at the end of 1 inning, fell behind 2-1 after 2, and then we had 2 scoreless innings for both teams in the 3rd and 4th. And then in the 5th, the 2 runs scored on the base hit by TJ Oliver. So Ricky Dow in relief now. He's got a 3-1 count. The leadoff hitter he's facing, and Evans probably will be taking all the way here. Nope, he'll get around on it. It'll come down. McLaughlin will fire and get him. Let me adjust that camera. Holy crap. Did that get hot? Yeah, the sun came back out. So coming back from a 3-1 count to get the ground ball out. Now Nigel up. Of course, McLaughlin just so smooth over there at the hot corner. Does a nice job at third base. So 1 down, nobody on, and it'll be a strike. What's killing me technical-wise is the cloudy day. First it's the brilliant sun and then the muted cloud, and it keeps messing with my iris. That's why that camera got hot, because I adjusted it for the clouds, and then the sun burst through. Oh well, it's just volunteer TV anyways. That's obviously a ball. 1-1 to count. We're in the 6th. Going to go 7, maybe longer. I hope not, but second game of a doubleheader. Post 31 winning the first game in 5 innings on the mercy rule, 10-0. Rallying to come back here in the second game, and are holding at 3-2 right now in the 6th. TJ Oliver was the starting pitcher for Rutland. Got the go-ahead. No, I just missed. Got the drove in the go-ahead run. And now in this inning, Ricky Dow's up, and he's gone to a 3-1 count again, 2 hitters in a row now. And that's going to be a base hit. See, Pelkey will scoop it up, and now he's going to dance around and hold over at first base. So with 1 out, there'll be a runner on, and we'll see how aggressive they're going to be on the bases now. South Burlington has been, when they get the runners on, they've been running the bases, moving stuff along here, hitting and running and all that good stuff. Now Tyler Wark up, and he's been hit by a pitch twice in the infield single, so he's been on base all 3 times, whether hitting the ball with the bat or with his body. That is the 3rd time he's been hit today. And that's by a different pitcher this time. Gonna have a lot of little tiny black and blues all over them. They've all been breaking balls that hit him, fortunately. Now Dylan Freeman up. He has struck out twice and walked. And we're having a meeting on the mound, and that's Coach Brewer, so I'd expect Ricky to stay in there. And 3-2, 2 on, 1 down, 6th inning. Okay, so while they had their conference, I white balanced my camera again so I could get set, but 1 out, 2 on. Number 2 hitter in the order, Dylan Freeman up. Ricky Dow up on the mound, comes to set from the stretch, looking the runner back. There goes the pitch. Just missed. At the plate, but a tad bit low, and a good job of discipline by the hitter not to go after it. Lucas McLean is the on-deck hitter, followed by Brandon Fay. Tying run at second, go-ahead run at first. And it's going to come down to Merritt, and he elects to go to second for 1, and that's what they'll take. They'll take the runner out at second. They're looking for the double play. And it's kind of a slow hit ball, but Merritt's been so good today. So the runner, Nigel, will go over to third base. And there are 2 down now for Lucas McLean. He has struck out in the first, flying out to third base in the second, and then had a single in the 5th. 3-2 the score, and we got a much different ball game than the first ball game. And you see the catcher. Well, you can see the catcher like I can. I'm trying to see if that's still, because they don't announce changes, but I think that's Chris. Well, it could be Ryan. I'll have to wait and see when he turns around, to be honest with you. He flashed some signs. Nobody was quite set. Now they're out chatting it over, so everybody's on the same page. This is a good move. Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely a different catcher. And I'm looking at first base now, because I think that's Bill Schuldice that's catching. And here comes Coach Sorelli. And he's going to make the switch. Okay, so lots going on here, and we're going to have a new pitcher coming in for Rutland with 2 outs in the 6th. They're up 3-2. New pitchers, Ryan Carter coming in, and that's Bill Schuldice doing the catching. Garrett Brewer has gone over to first base, so they bring the big gunning. Ryan Carter brings a lot of power to the mound. He throws a good fastball. He's got a knuckle curve, a breaking ball, and he's looking for that 3rd out. He'll be a little high with that first pitch. He caught the first game and always does an excellent job. He was a catcher in the first game, set out this second game to this point. And it's hard to get off the bench after almost 6 full innings and kind of come in cold like this. That's a good pitch. 1-1 to count. Now he's a awful good ball player, Ryan is. So in a 3-2 game with a tying run down at third base, Carter comes in to replace Dow, and he'll step off. Don't forget, this is the 3rd pitcher used in this ball game. T.J. Oliver going to first 5, then Ricky Dow coming in pitching 2/3 of an inning plus. And Carter will step off, fake the throw to third, and he'll get set now to set that target up and come home. Great pitch. Oh yeah, there's some nastiness on the pitches. That's a 1-2 count now. And another one of those guys, just a good athlete, whether you put him on a football field or basketball court, whatever. But this, to me, was always his niche. He was a baseball player. Got him with the high heater. That's the 3rd out. So Carter comes in, does what he's supposed to do, gets the out, strands the runner, says 3-2 Rutland. Will go into the bottom of the 6th with post 31 in the lead. So in the bottom of the 6th, trying to get an insurance run, Casey Battles will be the leadoff hitter. He's a DH today for post 31. Fouls off the first pitch down the third baseline for a strike. He'll step back in. It's still Brandon Fay, number 14 out there. Tyler Wark is at first base. Dylan McLean is at first base. Joey Nigels is at second. And I think you'll see he did commit. Yeah, strike right there called. Dylan Freeman's at short. Clancy Ruggs at third. Lucas McLean is in left. Sean Evans center. And Chris Blaze is in right field. 0-2 count. Pitch on the way. Got him. Oh, just nasty curveball. So that becomes the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th strikeout of the ball game. Now Bill Scholdice up. He struck out his last time up. And of course, if you're Brandon Fay in South Burlington, you know your job right here is to keep that lead or that deficit at just 1 run. Don't give up any runs here, especially since it could be your last at bat, the next at bat. And that's going to be fouled into the screen. Slap foul for a strike. 1-1 the count now. Again, you know, really, and I don't say it just to fill up airspace. I'm glad you're watching the games on channel 15, but you really should get down and watch a game live too. It's a good pitch. You can be part of the whole, you know, this is going to be a good squad this year. They're going to do well, and you want to be getting on that train early. You don't want to be a late-time bandwagoner. Went curveball up in the count, and that's going to be slap foul. Out of play for a 1-2 count still. Scholdice to be followed by Matt Merritt. Even though that looks like Matt on deck. I thought maybe they were going to hit for Matt, but yeah, that's in the dirt, and that's a ball, and we'll just go back at a 2-2 count. First game was won 10-0 by Post 31, and that is going to be to the right fielder, and he'll make the grab for the second out. That hung up there for a while, but he had a pretty good beat on it all the way. Yeah, so 2 down now, and Matt Merritt up. He struck out looking twice today, but he's been spectacular in the field defensively. The hitting will come. This is a whole different level of playing at Legion level. A good eye right there. That's ball 1. Both times he struck out watching the curveball, so we'll see what transpires here in this at bat. They painted that outside corner, got the call, and it's a 1-1 count now. Top of the order, Rob Dorian on deck for Rutland. That could be a tough play. He's fast. They'll set, they'll fire, and they'll get him. So Rutland will come up in the top of the 7th, trying to hold on to a 1-run lead and get the sweep here of this doubleheader. Well, South Burlington needing at least 1 run to tie things up to prolong the game, and a couple of runs take the lead. And they're right where they want to be. Brandon Fay, Clancy Rugg, and Taylor Stevens. That'll be a ball. It's just missed low. Now, this is the part of the order that generated the 2 runs and has done the most damage throughout the ball game. Carter came on at the end of last inning to get the 3rd out, and that is a major league fastball. Again, Brewer's at first base, Merritt's at second. This is the defense for Rutland. Perry's at short, and McLaughlin stays at third, and I believe that is Scholdice behind the plate. Carter's on the mound. Bloomer is in right, Dorian's in center, and Pelkey remains in left. And he'll miss down low, and I'll make it 2 balls, 1 strike. Sure, I just got caught listening to the Coach Brewer. Yeah, instructing from the dugout. Okay, he got me. I could hear him up here. He scared me. That's going to be down to first base, handled, and Brewer, first out of the 7th inning. Yeah, and who would have thought at the start of this ball game that it'd be 3-2 in the 7th? But it's turned into quite a good ball game. We've seen some good defense, some timely hitting. Rutland surrendered those 2 runs in the 2nd inning. Then they've held South Burlington scoreless for the next 4 innings using 3 different pitchers. Now the base, now at bat, is Clancy Rugg. There's a strike called. Like I said, Clancy Rugg scored a run in the 2nd inning. Look at that change of pace from all that heat to that. It's 0-2 now to Rugg. The outfield took several steps back. They're playing nice and deep right now. Check swing, knocked down, base hit. Yeah, it's going to trickle off the glove of Garrett Brewer, and so the tying run will be at first base. Just a check swing. Again, all you want to do is put the bat on the ball and make the defense make plays. Well, now Taylor Stevens up. He flied out to the shortstop last time up, struck out prior to that, and singled and scored. So Carter now will go to the stretch. That's how he entered the ball game last inning. Remember, runners at first and third, he had to pitch from the stretch. That's going to allow the runner to get down to second base, and nope, they're throwing the ball around. Yep, they're going to chase it down, and tying run now at second base. Now, not that this will happen, but with a pitcher like Carter, he can overcome obstacles with his strikeout ability. Now, he can help himself out a lot because he can get the strikeout. Oh, just over the glove, and see if they get the ball home. They held the runner up at third base. I'm surprised. Well, he wasn't really leading off the bag. He had to wait and make sure Merritt couldn't make the catch. But now the tying run at third base, go-ahead run at first, and Chris Blaze up. And there is that one out. But again, I still hold to my, you know, South Burlington, very good team, could easily get hits here. But with Carter, he has the natural talent where he can conjure up a strikeout. Double play still in order too. Let's see what South Burlington wants to do with that runner at first base. And now so much time taken between the pitches, South Burlington will ask for time, get it. And they'll step back in now. So Blaze is ready, Carter set, and the pitch on the way. Just missed. Yeah, had the right height on the ball, just brought it a little bit too far inside. So the second game's been a nail biter. Oh, great pitch. Changed up again on it. That wasn't the knuckle curve, but it was an effective breaking ball. Again, that tying run. Third base, which means with one out, I mean, a wild pitch, pass ball. That's why you got to really be tight here between pitcher and catcher. Yeah, there's that fake to third and swing around to first. And I have seen that work before. Stevie Shortle's done it a couple times when he played Legion Ball. But most of the time, I'm really telling you, they're just the pitcher's just not set to throw a pitch. So he's buying time. Oh, that was nasty stuff. 1-2 count, 3-2 the score. Tying run at third, top of the seventh. Rutland trying to take both games of the doubleheader here against South Burlington. And Ryan Carter on in relief of Ricky Dow, and who's on in relief of TJ Oliver. And this would be a save situation for Carter. He's going to do a little groundswork, the landscaping out there. You know, wants to fill in that hole in the front. And the pitch. Foul tip caught. He gets, see, that's what I was talking about, the strikeout ability, and a nice job behind the plate by the catcher, who I really believe is Schuldice. 2 down, Sean Evans up. He's been on base once today. He got hit by a pitch in the second inning. Other than that, he lined out to the pitcher, who was TJ at the time, and he grounded out to third base to McLaughlin. But this is the thing too, you can't let down mentally right now. You got the 2 outs, you still got the runners on base. You still got to take care of the wild pitches and the pass balls, the base hits. Like that. But I'll tell you, I know if you get thrown out coming home on that, the game is over. But I'll tell you what, that was intriguing if you would have sent him. Which I'm trying to say, I can't help myself but to project what I'm thinking, but I might have sent him on that play. I guess taking a long way to get to my answer. That ball got quite a bit of ways from the catcher. He's coming home now, and he's going to tie the game up. Yeah, We're tied up. Well, I tell you, they didn't do it the first time. They sure learned the second time. We are tied up at 3. And now the go-ahead run is over at third base. So now the thing is, you still can't let down because you've got the go-ahead run at third. We're tied at 3 in the 7th. And Carter's going to go back to the full windup. Yeah, and it's just off the end of the bat. They said they're not saying that's a foul ball. Yeah, now they're going to talk. I thought I heard the tick of the bat personally. Now I don't know how the umpire behind home base can ask for help on that. He's standing literally on top of the pitch. I literally heard the bat on the ball in center field. And it is a foul ball. That's amazing to me, and I'm not making ridicule. I'm not saying anything. Yeah, now they're going to question it because I got to tell you, if I'm the South Burlington coach, I got to say the guy standing behind the plate, which is literally 6 inches from that action, didn't call it foul. Which my point is, I don't know how he could not call it foul, unless he took a nap on that play. But I could hear it in center field, very distinctly, the bat on the ball. And I got to go with both coaches here. I mean, I don't know how the home base umpire, with the play 6 inches in front of his nose, screwed up the whole call, not calling it a foul ball. Now everybody's upset with everything. They're sending the runner back. But you could tell by the catcher's reaction or non-reaction, the pitcher's non-reaction, the sound of the bat on the ball, that it was a foul ball. The way the ball came off the trajectory. No, whether that was going to be a strike or not, he wasn't going to get the call because of what had just transpired on the call before that. So, in a 3-3 game, this has been a dandy. And it'll be a walk, and they'll put runners at first and third. And they'll bring up Joey Nigels now. Just in case we go to extra innings, I was just trying to save a little tape. They had a brief meeting. I'll tell you, this is the number 9 hitter, and he struggled today. And this is where Carter should just, I hate to say forget the base runners, but really just concentrate on taking care of the third out right here himself. Yeah, and what the breaking action is now is that the runner at third base, Taylor Stevens, had to tie his cleat up, his shoelace. So in a 3-3 game in the 7th, the pitch coming from Carter. Oh boy. Yeah, I tell you, I lost it because of the window jam, but that's going to bring the go-ahead run in right here on a misplayed fly ball, or a deep hit fly ball actually, and yep. So a big rally here in the 7th. Yeah, and the ball kept carrying, and I'll tell you what, Nigel came up with a big hit at the right time. Now on top of the other, Tyler Warkup. As it goes 4-3, South Burlington with the lead. And it's gone back and forth. Remember, Post 31 led 1-0 at the end of 1. Then the Knights took the lead 2-1 in the 2nd. And then in the 5th, Post 31 took the lead 3-2. And then here in the 7th, the Knights have come back. So there's been no definitive, like a punch count in a boxing match. Nobody's had the advantage here. It's just gone back and forth. And again, I don't want to beat this to death, but there's a wild pitch and the runner will go over to third. But you've got to really bear down and not let the lead keep stretching on you right here. You've got to remember to so in a 5-3 game, I'm sorry, I screwed the score up. It's 5-3. It's a 2-run lead. You don't want any more damage done. And there's a strike called. So Carter with a 1-2 count. Yeah, and they're going to hold up everybody this time. That time the ball really didn't get that far away. Been a wild ride here in the 7th, man. 5-3 as South Burlington's Knights have come back to retake the lead But don't forget, we've still got the whole bottom of the 7th to live through. That's a foul ball. That's a good job with 2 strikes right there, getting the bat on the ball. So we'll just settle back in a 2-2 count with 2 down, runner at third, 5-3 South Burlington. Yeah, pitch was high, yep. 3-2. Well, you know, you never really know what they're going to throw. You would kind of lean toward the fastball here, but he has had the breaking ball for a strikeout earlier in his stint here, his relief stint. And he came with the heater and lost it. Yeah, it came up inside. That will be a walk, and that will put runners at first and third and bring up the 8th batter of the inning, Dylan Freeman. He's struck out twice, walked, and reached on a fielder's choice. So the first game, which was a 10-0 win, a 5-inning mercy rule win for Rutland. And this has been more entertaining, I think, for both sides. And he's going to go, and he's not going to throw. They're going to concede the base. You can see him go down to second base, and it was uncontested, so it's not a stolen base. But so Dylan Freeman now, yeah, a base hit here would just make that bottom of the 7th even that much more uncomfortable. And that's a good pitch. Hip high on the outside corner, and he got the call. Good pitch there. Just came back with smoke. Got him. 1-2 count on the swing and the miss. If you're thinking bottom of the 7th, Rutland's going to be at the top of their order. And the pitch. Got him. A lot of work to do, though, in the bottom of the 7th. Down 2 now. 5-3 South Burlington with the lead. Top of the order, Rob Dorian trying to get things started here as post 31 needing the rally from a 2-run deficit. Brandon Fay trying to go all 7 innings here and get the win. Been a while, been a great game. There's a great pitch. That's why you got to get out and catch this stuff live. But still go home and turn on Munger Vision. Good idea, just missed. He came back after the fastball with a big breaking ball, but it'd be a 1-1 count. Well, I guess if you're down, you're right where you want to be as far as coming back in your order. At the top of the order with Dorian, that's going to be outside for a 2-1 count now. It's due up Dorian, Perry, Pelkey, Parker, but that could change here. A lot of bats sitting on that bench. That if he wanted to, Coach Shirley could use. Not that he's going to do that. That's fouled off, and it'll be a 2-2 count. And Dorian set, and from the full windup, Brandon Fay on the way. Put it into play. It's going to be a tough play to get him in. Oh, it's going to take an incredible throw, and it's going to go out of play, and he's going to have second base. So step number 1, they got a base runner in their comeback. And like I said, that's Jeff Perry up. Dorian at second base with tremendous speed. Well, that's one of those plays where if you just, on do-overs, you don't get do-overs in life. You might want to just eat the ball because it was almost going to be impossible. Not just improbable, but impossible to have thrown him out. So Perry all set now to step in. Dorian at second with nobody down, bottom of the 7th. It's a nail-biter. Brandon Fay comes to set and starts him off the breaking ball that never broke, stayed over the top of the head of Perry. And it does look like Pelkey, the on-deck hitter, is actually Pelkey. So they're going to go, because I'm just waiting for the announcements for the PA system to make the changes, and I haven't heard any yet. 5-3 the score, South Burlington with the lead. Bottom of the 7th. Trying to get the split now with Rutland, split the doubleheader. That looks to be very playable. Well, actually, not as playable as I thought. It was foul ball out of play. Don't want to take anything away from McLean over there. He was giving it all. Now, in all honesty, when I looked at the schedule and saw 2 games with South Burlington today and 2 games with Essex tomorrow, I really thought if Rutland came out with a split, 2 wins, 2 losses, they would have done an outstanding job against high competition. But then I got a little spoiled here when they had a lead in this ball game that they might be able to get the sweep today. But both teams have really done well today. And that'll miss down low, and that'll make it a 2-ball, 1-strike count. Perry, a good hitter. You know, he knows the strike zone. He's a good hitter. And again, he's a tough guy to throw out at first because he can move it down the line. So the pitch on the way. Again, you see him watch it all the way in there, and it was low, and it makes it a 3-1 count. Rob Dorian hanging out at second base. Again, you see the catcher going through a lot of signs there, and they'll settle on this pitch here, and it's going to be right there. Fastball down the pipe makes it a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. With Pelkey on deck. Again, what people have been treated to a great doubleheader today. That's going to be a tough play. Big chopper, lobbing throw, and he's going to be safe. Yep, it's just going to be a tough play because Perry's just so athletic. He put the bat on the ball. It was a slow high chopper, and he put pressure on the defense to make the play. So 1st and 3rd for Gary Pelkey. Tie run at first, and I'm always just intrigued. I would send him personally. We'll see what Coach Shirelli, who's the guy who really matters the most, what he's going to do. 1st and 3rd, nobody down. Perry getting about a 4-step lead right now. And don't forget, too, Brandon Faye's been a little erratic like that, and that's going to make it easy now. Perry will be able to take second base, so the tying run at second now on that wild pitch. And they're deep at the corners. I'm not familiar with Pelkey as far as a player, as far as if they wanted to be adventurous and maybe drop one down here, a little small ball. We'll see. Base hit's got a good chance of scoring both runners, though. As the guys on the bases, both Dorian and Perry are fast. So nobody down, 2nd and 3rd, 5-3 the score. South Burlington lead in the bottom of the 7th. Now Chris Parker's due up next. But I'm not sure that would be him because I think he's left the ball game. You know, he can re-enter. They're working him. Well, it looks like Ryan Carter up there swinging the bat. My eyes, believe me, are never what they once were, never will be again. But 3-0 count, and you got to be thinking he's going to take all the way. That would load the bases. Which, again, isn't the worst thing in the world. It makes it easier to get a double play and then pitch a force out at any base, but also puts the winning runs all out there and psychologically puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher not to. No, there's no room for margin of error as far as wild pitches, pass balls, walks. That became an irrelevant conversation because there's a strike. So 3 balls, 1 strike now. Just a little of the good baseball that you're going to have all year to watch. Oh, all summer, I'm sorry, to watch. Yep. Popped them up. Does it stay in play? No. So Pelkey will go to a full count. A nice job by Brandon Faye to come back to get it to a full count. And nice break for Rutland right there. That ball went out of play and they weren't able to make the catch. Because the runners obviously wouldn't move up on that. So in what's been, we've seen everything in the second ball game. The doubleheader has been outstanding. Hope you've enjoyed the Legion baseball action to this point in the season. Got a lot more coming up for you on PEGTV, Munger Vision. Got him. What a job of coming back from being down. He was down 3 balls, no strikes in the count. He got the strikeout. Tremendous job. That's definitely Ryan Carter. Okay, so. Well, because remember, because they moved around the order on me. So Ryan Carter coming up. And I'm not trying to be dramatic. He's hit the ball out of many parks. The Bennington game, the 4-3 loss, he had a home run, like I said, that probably went to North Adams, Mass. He represents the winning run at the plate. Yeah, and I'll tell you, the pitcher's thinking about that because he took so long. They called time, he stepped out of the box. And don't forget, Carter's probably upset with himself, even though he had nothing, it wasn't his fault alone that last inning, but I definitely want to be the baseball and him swinging at it, and that's going to be out of play down the first baseline. Foul ball, strike. So due up next, I'll have to wait and see because it was the pitcher's spot, starting with Oliver. And it looks like Brewer. Okay, I'm looking on the on-deck circle. It looks like Garrett Brewer coming up next. So Carter's set. Brandon Fay will kick and fire. Oh, and he came inside and, yeah, did not hit him. But again, that definitely was a good move not to send the runner home from third, trying to score on that because the ball never got out of the dirt circle of the home base area. So a 1-1 count. And who says baseball's a slow-paced game? This is a good game. Brandon Fay taking his time. He's done it the whole game. Came up high there, and that'll be 2 balls, 1 strike. And again, the deliberate pace, I don't know, I could blame it on the tension or the thinking, but he's kept this pace basically through the whole ball game. Carter's set, just waits for the pitch, and it's going to come. Good location. And we'll make it a 2-2 count now with 1 down, 2 on, bottom of the 7th. Tie run at second for post 31. And again, if you've just turned on this game, you got to watch it when it comes back on. Each team's had the lead. They've each had momentum. It's gone back and forth. It's basically been a classic ball game. And again, Brandon Fay will take too long. Carter will step out, and you know, some people want a shot clock in high school basketball. I'm always in for a clock between pitches, to tell you the truth. They want to talk about expediting the game. And that'll be outside, and we're going to have a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes. A walk here would juice the bases. Significance of that would be the winning run would be at first base. With Garrett Brewer, I believe, due up next. Like I said, they've really changed around the whole order with all the changes. He got it. He's going down to first base. There's the walk, and that's going to load him up for
number 26.
Yep, it is. I was waiting for Nicole to announce it on the PA system. So Garrett Brewer coming up with 1 out. Base is juiced, and we're going to have a meeting. Dylan McLean has come in to pitch. They've moved the pitcher Brandon Fay to third base, and then third baseman Clancy Rugg to first. Garrett Brewer up with the bases loaded, 1 out. And it looks like they got Matt Sharon and Jeff McLaughlin due up. Wow. If they give him that call the whole game, it's going to be over quick. That's called a strike. Brewer, yeah, without having to even tell you this, he's big and strong, and he's got the ability to put an end to the game real quick here. He was swinging for the fences on that one, and it's going to be an 0-2 count now. And like I said, it looks like they brought Matt Sharon out on deck to be the next hitter, to be followed by Jeff McLaughlin, if they can get that far. Don't forget, there is 1 out in a double play. Though the bases are loaded and you think that's a disaster from a defensive point of view, it does give you a lot more combinations to create a double play. So McLean set. We'll get ready and got him. Yeah, that was a good pitch. Yep. That's 2 down now. Yeah, and Matt Sharon coming up. Now he played shortstop in the first ball game. He sat out the second game. And they're making a switch from Matt Sharon, who's an outstanding hitter, getting set to come up. And there's nowhere to put him. And while they do all the bookwork, I'm going to take a pause here. So during that break in the action, they brought John Holtman out to run for Ryan Carter at first base as a courtesy runner. But the important guy's at the plate, Matt Sharon, and there's a ball. Like I said, nowhere to walk him. You're walking a run, even though you'll still have the lead. And I believe, yeah, it should be Jeff. Yeah, it will be Jeff McLaughlin if they can get that far. Due up next. Big stuff going on at St. Peter's Field. That's a good pitch. First of all, he's dropping down 3/4 sidearm. And he's starting that pitch right at the hitter. and it's breaking across the plate. That's just tough for a right-handed hitter right there to contend with that. 1-1 the count. Yeah, Matt Sharon will ask for time. And again, I'm not picking on anybody, but the pace between pitches by the South Burlington squad today, whoa, what long games. He'll tie him up inside for a foul ball, and he's down to his, what could be the final strike here in a 5-3 game in the 7th. South Burlington with a lead, 1-2 the count to Matt Sharon. Base is loaded. And Sharon, usually very good about protecting the plate with 2 strikes. That's popped up, and that could be the ball game. That's going to drop between everybody. There's 1 run, and they're going to hold up Holtman. And we are tied at 5. That thing just had to be hit. It was just in the right place with the right speed to fall between all those fielders. And now McLaughlin up with the winning run down at third base. And again, it was a good pitch and just a little blooper of a hit that fell between the first, second, and right fielder. First, second baseman, and right fielder. McLaughlin had been DH'd for this game. That's why they had to wait and do the paperwork to get him reinserted. Nice stop by the catcher, and that's going to send Matt Sharon down to second base. And yeah, they'd be nuts to throw down on that. So the winning run at third base when John Holtman came on as a courtesy runner. And McLaughlin, boy, I tell you, experienced player, good athlete, good hitter at the plate. You just couldn't have the table set anymore. And oh my goodness, again, they took so long to get a sign. That's just killing me in case you can't tell. Okay, here we go. He'll be low for a ball, and that'll become 2 balls, no strikes. Now, yeah, first base is open. I mean, that is a little consolation. Scholdice is on deck. That's a good pitch. Yeah. Again, watch where his release point is. 5-5 the score. As in the top of the 7th, South Burlington rallied to take the lead. In the bottom of the 7th, Post 31's rallied to tie the game. Great job by the catcher. Because don't forget, in all this drama with the hitter, a wild pitch and the winning run comes home, has the possibility to come home and score. So Mark, the catcher, just flat out dove for that and did a tremendous job. And Chris Parker is warming up in the bullpen. And this is going to be hit down. It looks like we're going to go to extra innings. Will 5-5 going into the 8th. Parker is coming on to pitch. I'm going to tell you, I don't have a lot of tape left, but I have another tape to put it on. Okay, so if, like, everything stops, it should, because I'm switching tapes. I might actually pause between hitters, so just bear with me. I'm just trying to get the most out of this tape as I can. 1-1 to count. Parker pitched in the 5th inning of the first game. Faced, I believe it was, I don't know, flip my book around, but I think it was 4 batters, and did a very good job looking for him to hold it at 5-5 here. That'll miss, make it 2 balls, 1 strike. Yeah, in case you missed it, you've missed a lot. So that'll be a foul ball. Ooh, over in the bleacher area, and makes the count even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And he'll retrieve the ball and bring it in, and we'll get set. Parker looks in, gets to target, winds it up, and got him. Yeah, he knew it. Bay up now against Parker, and that's going to be strike 1 called on a curveball. There's 1 out, nobody on. We're in extra innings, second extra inning game of the week for Post 31. Remember, they went to Bennington and played to the 8th. A 4-3 loss. Parker will just get set as the batter wasn't quite ready, and he'll come to the plate. Foul, ripped foul. Out. Did he go? Did they look? Will they? Nope, they're not going to appeal. There they go. They'll say he did not swing. So it's going to be a 1-2 count on an almost swing there, as we are at the middle of the order with Brandon Fay and Clancy Rugg up next. Nope, he won't nibble on that one. Settle back in. The pitch will be fouled off. Good 2-strike swing right there. Struck him out, but the ball gets away from Schuldeis, and it's going to be tough to throw him out, and he's safe. So the go-ahead runs at first base on a drop third. Well, actually, it wasn't a drop third strike. It was just a tough pitch to handle. And yeah, bring up Clancy Rugg now with the go-ahead run at first base. Parker on in relief of Carter, who's on in relief of Thau, who's on in relief of Oliver. 5-5 the score. So Parker will pitch from the stretch now. Nice job behind the plate there by Schuldeis. Yeah, I'm just going to have to concede the fact that I can't get the whole game in on one disc, which it won't affect you. That's a shot. That's a deep shot. And I missed it because I can't see out the window, but that's going to score at least one, possibly two. They're going to hold them up, so they'll take the lead on that triple. Cleanup now, and that was a triple by Clancy Rugg. And boy, they got to be alive on these pitches yet. He didn't advance from third base. There's only the one out. 6-5 to score now. South Burlington taking the lead back. And again, if you've missed a game, it's just gone back and forth like that the whole game. 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, 5-3, 5-5, now 6-5. He'll put it into play, and yeah, they're going to get the out. They're going to concede the run. They'll get the out, and oh, he didn't go home. Wow. Holy crap, he didn't go home. So it stays 6-5, but 2 outs now. Chris Blaze up now. That'll be low for a ball. Yeah, I believe this is a non-league game. If you could hear the tension and remember the discussions between umpires and coaches and the switching going on and off, and yeah, don't you let them think that because it's non-league they just kind of shrug it. That's to Sharon. He'll charge, he'll bobble, and he'll make the throw, and he's going to be safe. Yeah, I want to make sure because Brewer came up with the ball, but he's off the bag, so that'll make it a 2-run lead now at 7-5. It's up now. Runner goes, they're going to throw down. Merritt will get him. He's out, but down 2 runs going to the bottom of the 8th. 7-5 South Burlington with the lead. Excuse me, Bill Schuldeis due up now in the bottom of the 8th for post 31s. They're down 7-5, and that's going to be put into play. It's going to be hit towards short. Nice hop, scoop, fires, and 1 down. And again, just to try to get this on one disc, I'm going to pause now. Matt Merritt at the plate, and he's going to be at first base. That'll bring the tying run to the plate as he was hit by the pitch. Top of the order now up, Rob Dorian. Strike called. Nice pitch, broke across, and again started right at the pitcher. You can kind of see him lean back on it. Again, Merritt at first base with very good speed, and the guy at the plate, Rob Dorian, with excellent speed. It's going to be hard to turn that double play, but you never know. So 1-1 to count now in a 7-5 game. We're in extra innings. We're in the 8th inning. There's South Burlington and Rutland in a non-league dandy. And that could drop in. No, will be caught for the second out. 2 down now. And Merritt at first. With Dylan McLean on the mound trying to earn the win for South Burlington. And they say he held up for ball 1. He will take that as a strike up inside. He represents the tying run. Perry does that at the plate. And on deck, I think that is, it's due up to Gary Pelkey, and it looks like Gary Pelkey. As Dylan McLean will let that one get by him. That'll allow the runner, there he is, to go into second base and be in scoring position with 2 down. Came up and inside for a ball. That'll be a 3-ball, 1-strike count now. And that would put the tying run at first base if he ends up walking Perry or hitting him. And he'll walk him. First and second, 2 down. Presents the winning run, and that'll be ball 1 outside as he'll take that and look down to Coach Sorelli. Off the fist and towards center field. And Evans will make the catch, and that will end the rally. And Well, it was a great game by both teams. A lot of fun. Everybody put their heart and soul into it. It's going to be a 7-5 win. Essex will get the split of the doubleheader with Rutland, who won the first game 10-0. They'll lose the second game 7-5, but it's a non-league game, and it's just why you got to get out and support Legion Baseball. For Munger Vision, I'm Jerry Munger. Hope you've enjoyed the ball game as much as I did. God bless America.